and welcome to another edition of winemastery.co.uk, episode 7, part 3. So, this, as you might have guessed, is our Christmas edition, very special edition. Jingle bells, ho, ho, ho!
He doesn't laugh like that.
Like what?
Alright, okay.
Right, so, part 3. So, we've looked at a white wine for Christmas, we've looked at a red wine for Christmas, and now we're going to look at...
Port, obviously port.
Eddie.
Yeah, oh, well.
In a stall.
No, right. Okay, where's the snake? I think we shouldn't have tried those two. Right. Obviously, Christmas time, everybody loves to drop a port, and lots of people come in. I mean, the port is so popular and fashionable at Christmas. People really go for it, and I sell so much; it's unbelievable. But again, a lot of people are unaware of what port they should be buying or which port they might like. So, what I thought I'd do this evening, I'm gonna pick probably our most popular port, but then talk you through the different styles of the other ports. Now, there are a fair few styles really, but we'll start off light. I mean, basically, you've got Ruby, you've got Tawny, you've got late bottle vintage, and then you've got vintage. These would probably be the 4 main styles, and it goes in the kind of way like the Ruby tends to be a very light, easygoing port, obviously quite sweet, but not much depth to it. It's usually quite young as well, so it's a nice, like a beginner port, if you know what I mean. So if you don't know what like port you like, very nice to go for. Your Tawny starts to introduce a little bit more flavour, and in colour it looks a little bit darker around the edge, a little bit more depth about it, as you would expect. Then we go to late bottle vintage. Now, late bottle vintage is generally matured for about, and that's what we've got this evening, is matured for about 4 to 6 years, and then you've got your actual vintages. Now, vintages...
So when you say matured for, is that in the bottle or
in the cask? In the cask before it's then put in the bottle. And then you've got vintages which can be matured for, well, however long, really, and they are, you know, they are the top dog, but they are a very powerful flavour, and sometimes it can be a bit too much, especially for a beginner. I know... Even myself personally, I still prefer the late bottle vintages. That 4 to 6 years is ample in my mind right now for what I like. So,
okay.
The port I have as well is the Neoport. Now, Neoport is a tiny little port house. We're one of their biggest stockers, so you can imagine just how small they actually are. But we've been with them for the 20 years I've been here, definitely. So they just can't really kind of provide everybody with the port, so we're quite lucky to have these guys. So we're going to have a go of the late bottle vintage, which I will say is my favourite out of them all.
So this has been in the cask for... Between
4 and 6 years.
Okay.
Before they've then bottled it. And I mean, but this will still last in the bottle for a good 10-20 years. You could still, and it would, you know, it would...
What about once you've opened it, John? How long have you got to drink it?
When you've opened it, not quite as long. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I mean,
okay.
it's better than wine because it's obviously a fortified wine. Much more alcohol in this. This sits about 17%. I better check that though. Just 20%.
Whoa!
Oh, crikey.
Good grief!
But obviously, this is, you know, it's a big boy. There's going to be lots of flavour in it. There's going to be plenty to go out here.
Do we need to look at the colour on this or not?
Yes, we'll have a look at. Yeah, you see that? You see just around the edges there.
Yeah.
I probably describe that as ruby violet colour, but around the edges you can see the kind of slight, I would say, half brownish.
Just on the ring there.
Just and that's why, you know, on the bit of paper really pulls that out. You can see that.
Whoa.
Yeah, you see, it does come through. You can smell the sweetness of it, but to me, see how we get cherry from that? Is it cherry?
Yeah, I can. It reminds me, I once was in Lisbon, and they have little bars in Lisbon that are just tiled, and you go in and you get this sort of cherry brandy type of drink, and the cherries are in the drink still, and you chew it and you spit the pips out on the floor, so as you walk in you're crunching over these pips, and it's really quite, you know.
But after drinking a lot, would you not kind of slip on those pips? So that
well, the guys obviously imagine in there, but that just immediately brought back that memory of those cherries.
And you can smell like it is. You can smell that's going to be stronger, obviously the alcohol in there, but Probably dark chocolate again. That dark chocolate comes from a little spiciness, probably why it does have that Christmassy smell. I don't. But I think everybody
associate it with Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody does. I mean, there's everyday port. You know, you can drink port every day of the week if you chose. You know, the Reuben, easygoing. You know, you could be having that.
I understand white port is becoming a little bit more popular.
Oh yeah, definitely. The dry white ports are pretty amazing, and they are becoming again a very fashionable drink. You know, because you can have it just as an ordinary drink, or you can have it as a long drink, and it works really well. It's surprising actually. In fact, I didn't even think to say that. Treat yourself to a bottle of white port. I think you'd be very surprised. It's dry, but quite an unusual flavour, and definitely one worth looking at.
Okay, we're allowed to try it.
Yeah, we are. We can have a go now.
Do you have to cough before, or is that just...
No, I must apologise.
Mmm.
Oh.
Mmm.
See, and this is why late bottle vintage is my favourite as well. Oh, see, that is just delicious. It's like... It's got the perfect balance there of sweetness and power. I'll get plums, blackberry from there, and again that dark chocolate comes through so clearly for me on that. But what I really like about this, that sweetness, it's making my mouth water. But what these guys do really, really well is to have it makes you want to lick your lips.
Yeah.
It's a lick your lips kind of thing. It has a good bit of acidity in there, which again, the acidity in the wines we've touched on before, but a lot of ports can, you know, you'll have a taste and they'll be big and powerful and like really cloying, like nearly too much. Or too much for me, definitely. Whereas the acidity in there, once you've had a little sip of that, those flavours coming through, the sweetness is coming through, but then the acidity really cleans the palate. So you are not getting, you know, it's not becoming overly cloying. It's that nice sweetness which is just lingering and staying there, but without being too much. And again, that licking of lips is really, you can't have a drink of that without wanting to do it.
No.
And of course, you know, port would be, well, a late bottle port is traditionally known as an after dinner drink, or definitely with the cheese boards. And one of the best matches in my mind in the whole world. You know, there's lots of kind of foods that food and drink that goes together very well, but one of the best ones in my mind is the port and Stilton. So, seeing as we are having one of, in my opinion, one of the nicest ports available. Actually, chopped us a little bit of Stilton earlier, John.
Bloody!
Well, it's Christmas. So I thought we'd have a go of these two together, because the match of things are really, it's magical, and you just have a little go of that.
Right.
Now, the Stilton I've chosen as well for this evening is the Croppo Bishop Blue Stilton. Now, Croppo Bishop, again, I have to keep saying this, in my opinion, is one of the, well, is the best Stilton. For the 20 years I've been here, generally coming up to Christmas time, we sell a lot of Stilton, as you'd expect. And so we usually get, there's about 6 different Stilton producers, and we get a sample from each one of these to see which one is going to be the best for Christmas. And absolutely every single year we have gone for this one.
Whereabouts is it from?
I couldn't tell you.
There, couldn't tell you. That's just, I think that's just north of Peterborough.
Mm. What these guys do so well is have that. They've got, and it's a salty sweet as well. That's one of the best matches. The salty sweetness. They managed to keep the creaminess in there, that salty edge, but without being too overpowering. Now, I know a lot of people don't like blue cheese because the first blue cheese most people try is the Danish blue. From back in the day, it was really salty, really harsh, and had like almost a metallic flavour about it, which caught the back of your throat. Whereas this, it's just nice and rich. So the saltiness is there, but it does not overpower the rest of it. And those two together, I mean, it's one of the ways.
Same time?
Yeah. Have a look, you know, a chunk of that, and a bottle of that, and you're just a happy man, or woman.
Very nice. So, is that cheese available throughout the UK? Or?
Yeah, it should be. From obviously good cheesemongers.
No, only good cheesemongers.
But yeah, see now, I could carry on scoffing that for the rest of the
How do you
evening.
spell that?
Cropwell Bishop.
Yeah, Croppo.
Cropwell.
Cropwell.
Cropwell Bishop.
C-R-O-P, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any good cheesemonger should be carrying that. I mean, there are a fair few out there.
You were supposed to say T-H-A-T.
See what's that?
That. I said, how do you spell that?
Oh, dear me. I'm giving 3 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
No. So I was gonna, oh yeah. So if you do have any questions, as we've said before, you know, feel free to put a comment on there.
Yeah.
And we'll try and answer them as best we can.
I'm going to do a quick shout out if you don't mind. Actually, this reminds me of some very dear friends of ours. Jeremy Beck's bought us a very expensive bottle of wine. I mean, I think it was like very, very expensive. And this is the best wine the best port I've tasted since that. It was very good.
I'm really pleased that you. Chin chin.
Cheers. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Alright, that's enough.
Okay. Cheers.